Welcome to the May 23rd, 2022 meeting of the Rotary Club of Jamestown. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, singing of our national anthem, and repeating of the four-way test. Where'd my flag go? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave, land of the free and the home of the brave. Very nice. Let us repeat the four-way test. Of the things we say, think, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you. Welcoming Paulette Klein for the invocation.
Well, good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. I bring you words of wisdom from the Dalai Lama. Now, I did a little bit of an investigation. Some of you might know well, but I did not know that the Dalai Lama is the 14th Dalai Lama. He was born in 1935. That puts him in his 87th year by my calculation. He has been in his reincarnated position for 70 years. And he resides now in India as a refugee because he was exiled from Tibet by the People's Republic of China in 1951. He's the religious leader and head of state in exile of Tibet. I'm sorry, it was 1959 when he got exiled, 1959. But anyway, he came from a family of 16 children, and he was reincarnated, chosen by a tradition that they have of building a grand fire. Wherever the smoke leads, they follow the smoke, and that's where they choose the Dalai Lama. And so he was born on a pig farm in Tibet. So his words of wisdom today are, every day, think as you wake up. Today, I am fortunate to be alive. I have a precious human life. I am not going to waste it. I am going to use all my energies to develop myself, to expand my heart, and to others, to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all beings. I am going to have kind thoughts towards others. I am not going to get angry or think badly about others. I am going to benefit others as much as I can. Thank you.
Welcoming visiting Rotarians and guests, President-elect John Healy.
Okay, we welcome prospective member John Felton and Rudy Andalora online. Gene West is a soon-to-be member, and Kristen Melville, a new member. So welcome.
We thank Ruth Lundin as our Rotary Yours recorder today. Thanks to you and the committee for all your hard work. Also, many thanks to the members who came out to assist with Highway Cleanup Part 2 and Hands on Neighborhoods this past weekend. Your service to the club and community is greatly appreciated. And we thank Michelle Jones and her team on the social committee for putting together another fun event at the Harbor Hotel. I think we had over 30 people there last week. Reminders about upcoming meetings. We don't meet next week because of Memorial Day. We are back on June 6th, where we expect to induct Jean and Lori. Then we are going to hear from Richard Dixon from the CCIDA. On June 13th, we have our last guest speaker for this Rotary year, Louis Nalbone from Chautauqua Aircraft. Then on June 20th, we have a very important club assembly. We have some business to conduct on behalf of the club, some bylaw changes, reorganizing some committees, present the budget, so on and so forth. So please plan to attend on the 20th. We do need a quorum in order to have that take place. And then finally, the last Monday of June, we are meeting at Moonbrook for the President's Changeover dinner. Michelle, do you want to share any thoughts, notes on that?
Unfortunately, I don't have any more details. We are doing it at Moonbrook. There is a suggestion, or it was brought to us, if people would wanted to play play 9 holes of golf before the event, we could get you in. And if you wanted to do it, we could certainly make that happen. If you have anybody that's interested in doing that, please send me an email. I'd be happy to see how many people foursomes we can get, but they were offering that as an option. I think we just pay as you go. The dinner itself, I'm still waiting on details. I'm assuming we're going to do a buffet dinner and to celebrate the year. So as soon as I get more details from Anthony at Moonbrook, we'll get that started. Odds are it'll be 6:30 to 8:30 or 6 to 8. We're just kind of confirming those times. It'd just be an evening event for dinner. And bring your spouse, guests, whoever you'd like to bring to the event. So thank you.
Ruth, do you have any announcements today?
I would like to reiterate and underscore Kevin's thanks to those who helped with the cleanup Saturday morning. And we had a great crew and we were done by 10. We were happy. So several of you have ordered the special safety t-shirts. I've got them here today for those who ordered them and could not and have not yet received them. In my great organizational abilities and talents, I have managed to give out some XL men's that didn't belong to who I gave them to. So everybody who I gave a t-shirt to today, would you please be double sure you don't have an XL, because a couple of people who won't be able to fit into the larges will will be receiving them. I sent out just this morning a email about Christmas in July community service opportunity that we have been asked as the Rotary Club. I've put a piece of paper, a little explanation on the tables. The Collaborative Children's Solutions are holding a Christmas in July event, and they would like Rotary very much to take the lead on what they're calling so the parade, which will actually be along the river walk behind the National Comedy Center. They're asking everybody, every organization that participated in the Christmas parade to consider doing some sort of a either a float or a table or something along that river walk so that people can walk, families can walk along and enjoy a Christmas in July. And they're asking us to help to facilitate that, set it up and provide the feet on the ground to make sure that happens. Max has said he's willing to work on it, but I bet he would love a co-chair. And, but anyhow, so please read the material, and if it sounds like fun, help us out, because it sounds like they're working on a great weekend in July for the community. And Vision Committee people, please do participate in the doodle poll so we can get our next Vision Committee meeting going.
For newer members of the club, newer Rotarians, and I would say even if you've only been in the club through 2 or 3 years, if you haven't participated in one of our district's Rotary 101 web talks, there's one coming up on May 31st. It's from 7 to 8 p.m. Nice thing is you can do it from the comfort of your home, but just more information about what Rotary is and how you can get the most out of your membership. Any other chairs with announcements? $50 sign up clipboard is going around. Okay, beautiful.
Just an update from the Literacy Committee. I've got a happy buck. A few of us from the Literacy Committee attended the Battle of the Books that our club donated in terms of purchasing 12 books for middle schoolers to read. And then they had a great competition, high energy, fabulous. You know, it's a nice support of those individuals, those students that thrive on reading. So it was a great way to recognize them and for them to have a great time. Also, I just wanted to announce, if you haven't seen it yet, Chris Anderson sent out an email sign up for the Wish Tree Project at Bush School. So I have a manual sign up if you prefer to do it that way, or you can respond to the email and just sign up and you'll be all set. And I'm happy to say Max Miller was he was the first one. He's got the first slot. So thanks, Matt. Yes, Dave. Yes, the Witch Tree Project is the one district, one book read. Every single elementary student in the Jamestown High School system is reading the Wish Tree book. And the Wish Tree, I haven't read the book, so I can't really tell you about the book. But some of us from the Literacy Committee were able to record readings because they want the students and the families to read together. It's to promote literacy and a love of reading. And so some of us did those recordings that are available to the families, but they're also reading the book in school. So it's a combined effort, reading in school as well as reinforcing reading in the home. And so this sign up is for us to participate, as we have every year, in a Rotary reader, so to speak, reading with the students in the school. The school we're going to be participating with is Bush School. And it runs from July 1st through July 13th. So I hope you will sign up. Pardon? Did I say June 1st through June 13th? Yes, Sharon. Oh, gee, they were all winners. Marion, were you there? I don't remember. Let's see. I was sitting with the Chautauqua Lake. It was really throughout the competition, it went up and down and all over the place. Yeah. And 12 books. These kids read 12 books. It was awesome. So thank you all very much.
Any other announcements? All right. It's time for 50-50. Pat Kinney, please. $45 to the winner. 3900. Three nine zero zero. Going once, going twice. 39. Three nine one four. Congratulations, Max. Max is donating. Thank you, Max. Doug?
And the money that goes with it.
That's all right. We won't hold it against you. All right. Mr. Conroe.
Yes, sir. It's a good day. Look at almost every chair is full. This is wonderful. Wonderful. Chris is smiling away over there. I've been waiting for you to return in person. You were absent for a while. Yes, you were online, certainly. But you see, I have a long memory. And I've been looking for Denise too, but you're here. The Resource Center planned Riverwalk Edgewater Art House is the project coming forward. And Diana's going to pay too. Okay, thank you. You want to say anything about it? No? Yep. Okay. And thank you, Diana. Okay, and we've got to start off the pot here. Having to leave early, Phil, Mark, and Vicky, and David had to miss a few. Oh yeah, keep it coming, keep it coming. That's good. I'm looking for Amy, but I don't see her. Might there be some United Way board members or committee members present? United Way awarded $1,045,000 to 29 agencies. Excellent campaign, excellent. Wow. Thank you, David and Joni. Okay, and okay, Marion. It's good, it's good. Becky, I love your smile. And I know you want to talk about Sense for St. Susan's. You've been on the radio, I heard you. I heard Russ too, by the way. But you want to say anything about Sense for St. Susan's?
We kicked off our 23rd annual Sense for St. Susan's campaign. We have 80 some canisters wrapped like this all around the community. And we're trying to raise money for St. Susan's. Their number of meals kind of went down during COVID because people got government help, I think, to eat, but now they're coming back with a vengeance. So I did want to thank, there's several Rotarian organizations that are our sponsors, including National Fuel, Northwest Bank, Robinson Johnson's Attorneys, Schultz Auto Group, Sloan Meluish Insurance, and Weinberg Financial Group. So special thanks to those Rotarians too. So thank you.
That's very good, yep. St. Susan's was closed there for a while, but it's wide open and people are coming there. And you thinking of Happy Buck Lee? We'll get to you here in just a second. Okay. We generally recognize Rotarians that get new cars. I think there's a spouse of a person with a new car in the room. Right, Lisa? Might there be a new car in your family? No new cars? You walk. So But we still like having you come up forward because your picture's in the paper today in the Gazette. Yeah. Along with Marissa, David, Marissa. Paul and Ruth, and Matt and Michelle. So we have a number of people in today's Gazettes. Ruth, yourself, Michelle, I know you're coming. Ruth is trying to stare me down here, but it's not going to work. Okay. And David is always pride in his wife. So I was hoping it would be a 20, but anyway. Okay. Okay. All right. So I had another little tidbit here, but Lee's anxious to go. I suspect it has something to do with this weekend. So let's talk about this weekend.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
I've got two heavy bucks for yesterday. And we had the book signing and the launch of the book. That was written by Walt and Kay. And it went so well. We had close to 100 people there. And we sold a lot of books. So hallelujah.
Well, Walt, it's been a long time, hasn't it? Yes. Had you not been in the Jamestown Gazette, I wonder where you'd be today. But I am so, and I tell you, I am a proud publisher. Well, it was wonderful. It was a great book. It was worth it, but nobody else in this room is allowed to touch my editor. Okay. He needs a break.
Talking about so many wonderful things that are going on and in our community, and what a blessing we are to live here. As I said before, I can remember every day I go through an experience that something wonderful happens to me, that with my hands and my mind and my everything else is not part of it. It's because of the wonderful children that God has put on this earth that reach out and do something for everybody else. And I've been the benefactor of that every day of my life, and many times, many hours of the day of my life. As I got here today, I didn't build a highway or the road to get here. I didn't build the automobile to get here. I didn't build this building to get here. I didn't cook the meal. I didn't raise the things that they had to put the meal together with. And it was all the hands of other God's children. And that's just one of the things. And when I go home again, I'll go home safely because I'm on a highway and because I'm in a community that cares about people. And that's wonderful. And I've been fortunate to play with that little round white ball quite a bit. And the nice thing about that, I've been able to, one of my most favorite things is not only God's children, but all of the other things that God has put on earth. And that's been the animals. And boy, those four-legged animals that run around the stadium, they've been running down there since 1940, hiding in that tarp down there. And they finally realized that now they are the tarp skunks. And they're starting, their baseball season will open on Thursday, June 2nd, 6 o'clock. They'll be playing Olean, and that'll be the start of the league, the great summer of baseball. I've dreamed it, I've played it, but I really enjoyed it because of the other people that have been involved in baseball over the years have made it possible. And it is just something that you can't say thank you enough. And that's part of this $10 bill. The other part of it is one of those things that God has given us, and because God's children has taken care of it and they loved it and they worshiped. So please be by yourself, go and enjoy and bring friends with you if you have family coming in. And one of the wonderful things on that long list of great things for us to have and enjoy is that wonderful, wonderful body of water called Chautauqua Lake.
And then I got to go visit our new granddaughter this last week, Lily, and that's grandchild number 5. The oldest is 6 years old, so it's a lot of fun.
And my granddaughter, Annika Spitzer, was in the top 10 at Jamestown High School, and we're very proud of her.
My daughter Kate, who's a professor at Kaiser University in Florida, is launching her first poetry book on Thursday. So I'm flying down there to be part of that event. And secondly, you know, a lot of days we get up and we just don't think anything special about the day. Well, last Saturday I got up and we're going to be involved in the cleanup Jamestown. And, I met the most incredible person that I have met in a long time. This guy, 5 years old, Ben Sixby. Anybody know Ben Sixby? Let me tell you, Ben allowed me to clean up along the Riverwalk with him. He taught me how to use grippers. He taught me how to hold the orange bag. He let me point and he recovered. Great guy. Parents did a good job on this kid.
Well, it's hard to follow Ben, I admit. I got 2 happy bucks. One is for Walton Kay's book, The First Counter Spy. I've already have my copy and I'm through like the first 4 or 5 chapters, and it's a riveting book. So well done, Walt. And the second one is for my daughter, Emma. This happened a few weeks ago, but as the Sergeant at Arms pointed out, I haven't been here. So my daughter, Emma, she's a senior at Southwestern, and she is committed to SUNY Geneseo in August. So donations are accepted.
So on your tables, everybody hopefully will have a copy of this year's North Shore Arts Alliance Art Trail Hub Crawl. This year we've got 14 stops with 24 artists participating. It's a time when you can go to an artist studio and see where they work and ask them questions about how they work, but not everybody's in a studio. Some are in galleries. I'm going to be at stop number 7, which is in Bemis Point, and I'll be in front of the Bemis Bay Water Toys. So if you get a chance, it runs on Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 5. Hop in a car and take a little drive around our beautiful county. But if you're busy this weekend, it runs again Labor Day weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So put that in your calendar and come on out and see us.
So I have a few happy bucks here, 2 of them for a couple meetings that I've missed the past month. And then one is for my youngest brother, Sam, who broke the Maple Grove school record in the 100-meter hurdles a couple weeks ago.
So I have $9 on credit in the kitty. I put a 10 in earlier, so I've got a few happy bucks. The first one is not so happy. I'm going to miss Paul Wallstrom. So the first one's for him. He wasn't in town during the winter, but when he was during the summers, he'd stop in 3 or 4 times throughout the summer, and he'd always stop back to my office and say, "Kid, you making any money?" And I'd say, "We're doing okay, Paul." Then we'd sit and we'd talk about life. So he's going to be missed. So I got married May 7th in Las Vegas. So that's my second happy buck. There's a little story that goes along with that, so bear with me. So my fiance and I were looking for rings, and we went down to Pittsburgh because she wanted to have a ring made. But I was looking for my ring, and we were looking through the case, and there was only one that I liked. So I said, "I like that one." She goes, "Oh, you have good taste." And I said, "What is that supposed to mean?" So my ring is still in Switzerland being made. It didn't make it. We were supposed to pick it up on the way to Pittsburgh, on the way to get to the plane, and it didn't come in. So my third happy buck is for a close friend of mine. He's actually a bartender here in town, and one of his friends passed away, and he took his bottle opener and made it into a ring. So they didn't have a size 13 ring at the church that we were going to get married in because I didn't have a ring. So his ring fit me. So that's what I got married in, was his special ring. So I'm grateful for that. I also have more happy bucks. I actually have 19 happy bucks for the 19 people that were not invited to the wedding but showed up anyway. We kept telling everybody we're eloping, we're going by ourselves, and they said, well, when is the wedding? And we had 19 people show up. So I have $19 for those people. Thank you.
I have a happy buck for Stacy. We've got to tell a story. Stacy, I'm sure, is a very good driver. I don't know for sure personally, but I remember this story that she told me one day, that somebody in the parking lot got mad at her and told her they were going to tell her boss all about how she drives. And because we work so closely together, and it's really been one of my privileges in life, is that we've often been accused of being a couple, but I want you to know that both Mark and Nancy have forgiven us.
So I had to throw in the bucket. Thanks, Randy. And also, Ben was just as precocious the next day when we went out for breakfast, and he tugged on the waitress's apron and asked her to put a candle in my eggs Benedict. And I should also mention Learn to Row. I haven't mentioned rowing in a long time. Learn to Row is June 11th from 8:30 to 1 p.m. Rowing Association at 18 Jones and Gifford. If you haven't tried rowing, you should. And if you haven't tried rowing in a while, you should get back into it. And that's all I have to say on that. It is my pleasure to bring up Becky Robbins from the program committee to introduce our speaker for today, Jeff Rotunda.
So with us today is Jeff Rotunda, who began working at the UCAN mission 5 years ago, and he served as executive director of the mission for 3 years. And among other topics, Jeff, we hope, will share plans for the women's mission to be located at North Main Street. A Chautauqua County native and schooled in Ripley, Jeff married his high school sweetheart, and they'll celebrate 23 years of marriage in October. The couple lives in Sinclairville, where they're building their own home from the ground up. They've been doing it, and it's the second time they've done it. He also says they've adopted 2 boisterous sons from the Jamestown area. He has been part of the National Fatherhood Initiative through Chautauqua Opportunities, and he's participated in the prison missionary as a prison ministry for 8 years. He's been involved in the Chautauqua County Jail chaplaincy program for 5 years. Please welcome Jeff Rotunda.
I don't like standing behind these things. I'm sorry for anybody at home watching. I'll try not to block the camera if you can still see me. But yeah, if you want to test a marriage, go ahead and build a house. And if you want to really test it, build 2 of them. And truly, it's such an honor and a blessing to be here and, to share and hear a little bit of where and how I've come to be in this place. I was actually initiating and facilitating some fatherhood classes in our county jail, meeting with the dads there to re-engage and connect with their kids. And they were talking about losing everything and not having a house or a place to stay because of circumstances, or they can't go back to that place because of other circumstances. And I came and knew that the city mission was starting to open again. I knew the then to-be Sheriff Quattrone was leading that, as well as my good friend and predecessor, Scott Linden. And I just wanted to meet with them and say, hey, what is going on? With the housing situations here and these guys coming out of incarceration, whether it be from the prison system of New York State or Chautauqua County. And they're like, oh, come on in, Jeff, and we'll talk. We'll share about that. And little did I know I was coming in actually for a job interview. Because Sheriff Quattrone, or Jim Quattrone at the time, was about to announce his candidacy for sheriff and agreed that regardless of the outcome of the election, that he was going to step down and honor whatever leadership would step in. And so that's how I came to this ministry and this mission. And little did I know that I would be the executive director in just a short amount of time. So that in itself is quite the amazing opportunity for me to be able to see. And so thank you everyone for allowing me to come and share. And by all means, if you have any questions at any time, I don't need to just spout off statistics or information. I'm okay with question and answer at any time. We don't have to wait till the end. If something comes up, ask it. It's fine. That's what it is. And that's what is life. And that's what we try to share with the guys that come to us currently, and soon the women and children. So the three things that I wanted to just share about today quick and honor your time is one, the main question we always get is COVID. How did COVID affect us? Did it affect us? And what are we doing with those types of protocols? The second is our men's ministry. How is that going? What's going on? Where can we help? Those types of things. And then the third one is, of course, the new Women and Families facility that we're looking to open. So by all means, afterwards, I have some newsletters up here if any of you would like some more information. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, great question. UCAN actually is United Christian Advocacy Network. So instead of saying that 5 times too fast, it's UCAN. So United Christian Advocacy Network. So united in Christ, advocating for those who can't speak for themselves, and networking with all the agencies and areas, not just within our county, but also in the nation. So we are actually part of a larger group called Citygate, which actually has 300 and last count was 317 other rescue missions and ministries like ours across the country, and in Canada and Barbados is the other one. So we're actually we're not alone. We're not on our own. We have a whole bunch of other agencies just like us that are out there doing it. Some of you might have heard of the Bowery mission in New York, or the several different city missions in Skid Row in California. I know all those executive directors first and foremost, and they're just like me, just like you guys. So it's amazing to see, even though those numbers of guests that they serve is greater than what we serve, it's all the same issues that we need to know and see and understand. That even though Jamestown or Chautauqua County is small, it's still the same issues as in New York City, in LA, in Seattle, in Dallas, and so on and so forth. So we're all in it together. And so, thinking about COVID didn't affect us. COVID actually helped us to remain stronger. For us, when COVID hit, we already get into the cleaning mode, because if you know, like in schools and in homes where you got a lot of kids coming in and out, I mean, the guys at the mission are my kids. I have some 70-year-old kids. I have some 18-year-old kids, but they're all kids because they've made some choices that they need some help redirecting some of those choices. And I say that lovingly, but with COVID, it didn't affect us other than when coming to work, as I was sharing with Kevin earlier, it seemed like the zombie apocalypse, but yet the mission was going strong. And just some statistics out there for this year, actually not this year, but these last 2 years with COVID, we've only had 3 staff who have had COVID and only 4 guests out of these last 2 years. And we've, already brought through about 200 and some men, and we have 13 staff. At the beginning of COVID, I was talking with some directors at some of the other missions. They had more COVID cases in their mission than we had in our whole entire county. So just, a perspective of how big and how things can change, or how blessed we truly are. The one thing that opened the door for us, and you had mentioned St. Susan's, was closed during that time. And we were working with St. Susan's to get some meals from them. And because they weren't making meals, we were able to receive the food that they were receiving instead of allowing it to go to waste. We were able to hire on a kitchen coordinator, and now to continue to be able to make the meals right in house. And I don't know about you, but some of these guys actually eat better than me, like a seafood mac and cheese. Anybody like seafood mac and cheese? Lobster, crab, Yeah, almost every other week we're having seafood mac and cheese because we're working with not just the agencies here in this area, but Red Lobster, Olive Garden, restaurants around this area that with their excess food, instead of being able to sell it, they're able to donate to us and we're able to share it. So sometimes I know I'm going home and have some grilled cheese and soup. That's good. While they're having seafood mac and cheese, okay. But yeah, COVID has not affected us. And we're moving forward strongly. The one thing that most people ask is, when thinking about COVID or the seasons, okay, how's things at the mission? How's things going right now? Well, actually, mid-spring to mid-fall is our busiest time. Most people, I'm sure you were all thinking, well, it has to be wintertime when it's colder. Well, people know here in Western New York, the weather is not nice. And what we're seeing is a trend that more people are more empathetic during the colder winter months than they are during the summer months. Hey, you can crash on my couch, or you can crash on my porch, or you can crash in my garage. We actually had a gentleman that just came to us. He was staying in a guy's barn. And now the weather's getting nice, so we need you out and about and moving forward. And so that's a unique dynamic for our area because of our severe weather. We know Western New York weather can change, and hopefully tomorrow it isn't snowing or anything like that, like it was a couple weeks ago. We are so grateful for this community and the people who are outreaching and helping us. A lot of people wonder where and how do we continue to operate. Well, we're generously supported, the whole ministry as a whole, and we'll continue to do such. We're supported by individuals, churches, organizations, businesses, and then also the foundations in this area. So you had mentioned the United Way with the 1.2 million, right? 1.7 million. We're part of that. As we reach out and continue to work. We also work with the county. Most of it people don't know is the solution for homelessness for our county used to be hotels and motels. And it still is right now. A good portion of those men and families and single women are right now in the hotels and motels here in Chautauqua County. So, and we're actually working with the county to change that. So option A is UCAN City Mission, option B is UCAN City Mission, and then option C, D, and E might be the hotels, motels. Why? Go ahead. Great question. We are a 45-day emergency shelter. And we originally were 30 days, but most other services are 45 days. Working with the county, they have a 45-day waiting period before some can receive services. So why, we got to thinking and adjusting. Why do we want to change that? Because we want to align with these other organizations. So the one thing that I want to celebrate, because I started with the COVID, but the best piece of all is we have been in operation and just celebrated 5 years. 5 years of operation. So, and in those 5 years, we've helped over 800 plus men and women and families already. We're already starting to do that, and we'll touch on that piece in a moment. You asked the question, how many days? It's a 45-day emergency shelter. We have 29 beds. We're actually working towards opening more of our third floor to where we will have availability of 50 to 60 beds in our current facility. And that is men who are 18 years of age and older. And so we've had young men that are coming out of the foster care system on their 18th birthday, were being dropped off at our front door. That's a reality of some of the things that we have to look at and see. But we're able to also offer not just the hand out, but the hand up and some extra hope. Yes, sir. Yes, good question. So at 45 days, well, actually weekly, we are evaluating and talking with each guest, each individual on an individual basis, weekly, so that way we know they're doing the things that they're supposed to be doing, or they might not be doing the things that they're supposed to be doing. When it comes to 45 days, it's not, hey, you're done and out. A lot of missions and a lot of shelters, they have to check out on a daily basis. Here, we do not have to. we're willing to work with the guys who are willing to do the work themselves. So, and then at 45 days, and we're actually having a full county meeting now with these organizations that we're working with, which is about 45 plus organizations, to evaluate how we can help each individual move forward in a positive direction. The thing that we have shifted from since opening, 5 years ago is not just the get the employment, get the housing, and then move forward. We're really working to address the life transformation and the causes that have caused them to become homeless. And a lot of those causes, the 5 main things that bring people to us at the mission is mental health issues. That's very prominent in our area. Substance abuse issues, loss of family structure or support. That's so underrated. Incarceration and chronic unemployment. So those are the 5 pieces that are usually all connected, which usually has a deeper root of that of living in some generational poverty, which we don't think about either. Hey, or not having a father figure in their lives, where we're really looking at a lot of things that how can we move people forward here at the mission. So yeah, men 18 years of age of older, we are providing not just the bed, but we also provide meals, full showers, full laundry facilities that they can do their laundry and we do our own. And then the community connection, as I said, with 45 different organizations. So, and that includes not just the general community, but veterans as well. So I know our board has said and has shared, even if we are full, they've made the commitment that if we have a veteran that does come, they will not go back on the streets, but they will personally out of their own pocket, put them up in a hotel until we can get them other situations or a living situation. So, and it's been good. We've added so many things in such a short amount of time. Are we where we want to be? No. But with connecting these guys with all these different services, which most people don't know are even here in Chautauqua County, we've actually added a full-time caseworker now to really press in to see, okay, what is it that you need? How can we individualize each treatment? And just thinking of the one gentleman that I actually shared this story at at a church yesterday. We had a gentleman who was suffering from alcoholism for 28 years. 28 years. And he came to us, actually, it was last year. And all he wanted to do was just maintain his alcoholism. If I can just control it, right? And so what he ended up doing is he would go out, come back, would be intoxicated sometimes. Sometimes we had to ask him to not come back in. Hey, you're going to have to stay out and wait. You're going to have to spend 3 days out. But then he would come back and we would welcome them back in. There's always a process. Here's a consequence for this choice and action, right? We all have choices and actions and consequences with that, good or bad. So we tried to instill that with these guys. So this gentleman was going through the process, stayed with us, past that 45 days, as you had mentioned. And we were working with him, and then he'd go up and then he'd slide. He'd go up and slide. And finally he hit a place where he's like, okay, I can't do this anymore. And I got to go to program. I got to go to treatment. And so he went to treatment it was, and not this November, but the November before, went to treatment, got out, got to continue with treatment because this is not enough. 28 days and 28 years do not compute. And so he went into more treatment and continued with program here and community connection. And he had an apartment and then he lost it because he was wrongly evicted. And where did he come back to? Us. He came back to us. And so I share that because that's some of the processes that we get to see. We were walking with him, connecting him with services, connecting him with other pieces. But the key piece that most people don't see is the encouragement that we're there on a daily basis. We see them. My office is right there. I know all of them by name, not as much as I used to because my role has changed, but we know who they are. We know their life story. And I can tell you with confidence as of today that gentleman that had 28 years of alcoholism is now 14 months. Yeah, 14 months clean and sober. 14 months. And that's, yes, absolutely. You can clap and it's worth celebrating. So those are just some of the pieces. But we're also now looking into the lifestyle changes as this, and I always mess it up. The Southern Chautauqua Federal Credit Union has come alongside of us and are offering financial classes, and not just financial classes. They've also actually taken some of our guys to your location to do different credit score checks and some other pieces. So those are the networking pieces that we're looking at. So St. Susan's and Chautauqua Federal Credit Union, we're actually the local artist just down here. He's doing art therapy for us on a Friday, because what people don't know or understand, homelessness is a form of trauma, and any way that we can alleviate that trauma is a good thing. So we got some guys in there that are very good artists and making some really neat pictures. And so we're really looking at a holistic way to be able to serve these guys here at the mission. So since opening, we've helped over 800 plus individual men here in Chautauqua County from that mission. And those are all individual men. That doesn't count the ones that have come back. 800 plus. That's insane to think about. So knowing that and seeing that need also from the get-go, and I'm sure Becky can share that her husband has saw that some of that vision, because he was once on the board as well, and I'm grateful for his leadership as I was stepping in. The second part of UCAN City Mission was opening a women and families facility. That was it was a no-brainer. Hey, here's a men's shelter already. That's an easy one. Let's move forward and into the next direction of opening a women and families facility. And so this year, if anybody has read the paper still, or maybe online, we did purchase a 40,000 square foot building here on, it's actually the old Field and Wright building, right on North Main Street, which is literally 350 feet from our front door. You can't make those kind of things up. And what we will be doing is housing single women as well as families. And when I say families, the average or the typical family who is homeless is who? Can anybody take a guess? Single parent, yeah. It's usually a single mother with 2 to 3 kids. That's what the typical homeless family looks like in our country. And last year, I didn't get the numbers from last year, but 2020 during COVID, and those numbers were a little low, because since then our numbers are gaining again for homelessness, and the rent eviction and moratorium has been lifted. In 2020, there was 222 single women who were in hotels and motels here in Chautauqua County. 222 single women identified as homeless. Can anybody guess how many families? 108. 108. And so we've seen this need, and as well as we're working with, some of you might have read that Chautauqua Opportunities is open a single women's facility as well. Even with both our facilities up and going, we're barely going to meet the need, because what we don't see and what the county can't report is the ones that are staying in situations right now that they shouldn't be staying in. That's not the greatest to be staying in, because going to the options that we have right now, like I won't mention their name, but the couple other hotels here in this area are not the place that are safe and secure for women and families, let alone men. There's drugs, there's bed bugs, there's prostitution, there's crime, there's many things that are happening here, but we don't know what we don't know, right? I just happen to get to see it on a daily basis. So thinking of that, with purchasing this building, we're going to be having and providing beds. We're going to be providing 40 beds for our family units, and they will be actually single occupancy units, so mini apartments. So that way we can avoid some more of that trauma. One, not just for the mom, but for the kiddos. Within that facility, we're going to be having a full indoor activity area, which will include a full indoor playground. So we want these kids to feel normal. 2, we need them to have a place that they can play. And 3, the weather out here is not the greatest. So most of our playgrounds can only be used about 3 months out of the year, right? So here we have this building, actually on the third floor is where our activity area will be. The second floor is where our family units will be, and the fourth floor will be where all our single women will be, and that will be 45 beds that we'll be providing there for single women. Not only just providing the bed, but just like our men's facility and program, we're going to be offering the life skills changes, the opportunities for growth, having some classrooms, having some different groups come in and just trying to provide that support to get away just from the housing first model to the helping first model is what I've been deeming. Yes, sir. Yep. The healthcare, we're actually working with the Chautauqua Center. We also work with WCA on some other pieces. We're really starting to get some coordination there of groups. WCA is more of our emergency spot. Yes. Sorry, I'm still working on the change. UPMC Chautauqua. There we go. I apologize. I do. But yeah, UPMC we're working with, and so you know, one of the pieces is knowing that if these guys are not healthy, or if these families are not healthy, then they're not going to be thinking about other pieces. You know, and so part of that program is within our new building. We have a gym who leases from us, but the gym owner, Shauna Kohlenbacher from Jamestown Fitness, is already writing up a program to help us with nutrition and fitness, and not just for our women and families, but our men's program as well. So this is a new piece that we're going to be looking at as well. Yes. Yep. Yeah. So with the abusive part or crime victims, we already have talked with the new center, the Salvation Army. Because we can only have one provider for that type of service in our county, they will be referred to them. And if they don't quite qualify, then we could be able to take the overflow or you know, individuals who can't quite get into that program yet. That whole building will be completely, we already have in our other building, even though it's built in 1887, we have cameras, locks, security systems, all that. The one thing that we need to change, unfortunately, is our front windows. We got to put in ballistics glass. And we will do the same. That's the nature of our society now. And you know, I am grateful that we've had no major incidences. We've had one or two maybe scuffles, but nothing really big, or you know, any assaults, things like that. So every step that we take is for safety, security, and structure. Safety, security, structure for all individuals. Yeah. Yeah. No. Yes. Yeah. So so what he had asked was 45 days compared to all these life issues is not enough. Do we have a solution for that? And actually, yes, we're looking at a transitional housing program piece that we can really look at for a 3-month, 6-month, 9-month, and 12-month program or longer, especially with our men right now. And then we will do the same with our women and families. Just a quick piece to look at, it's getting the buy-in for these transitional pieces. You know, to be willing to change and to work on themselves and those types of things. Buffalo City Mission has been in operation over 100+ years. It took them 7 years just to develop their own transitional program, and this was just the last few years. So you know, we're working on the buy-in, and as you know, others have seen, you know, it takes a little bit of time. We have such a fluid group. I can come in on a Monday, which today is, and Mondays are usually very, very interesting. But we don't know if they will be there or not. Not all the guys tell us that they're going to check out. or not all the guys are going to a good place. Sometimes we have to look at the county website to see, are they a resident of Chautauqua County for a little bit? Happens. Well, how do we work through and get with them to work through that program? So, you know, there's so many pieces that we're working with and involved with. And I know if I shared a lot, yeah, by all means, ask all the questions. Yes, 45 days have been enough. We had one gentleman come in, he was from out of town. And anytime I need to go, like you need me to do this and we've done, that's fine with me. That's okay. We actually had a gentleman from out of town, came to us on a Friday, had 3 job interviews through the weekend, had a 4th job interview on a Monday. Ended up working with Infinity Resources, who we work with, because they do what? They provide transportation, which in a rural county in our transportation system, not adequate, especially if they're working elsewhere. So Infinity does transport to Dunkirk, to Warren, even to Northeast. We had a few that are working at Welch's. But so that gentleman got a job. Within 2 weeks, he was a supervisor. And then he was able to get an apartment building, or into an apartment building that was across from the ice cream place in Dunkirk, is where he was working. And he actually reached back out to us just a couple months ago. So he's still at the ice cream factory, but the house that he was renting from, he now owns. And it's all in the effort that these guys have to put forth. And I think I've shared it. We're going to help them as far as they want to help themselves. We'll walk that journey. We'll do that, but we're not going to do it for them because there's no investment in it and it doesn't do any good. And we've had a few that are like, oh, you guys are doing nothing. Well, that's because you're doing nothing and your 45 days are up. So then we have to issue a letter. Hey, you got 15 more days. That's it. And you're going to have to find other housing. Happens. We don't kick anybody out. They choose to not be there because they choose not to help themselves or choose to follow the rules. That's really what, all about accountability. So, yes. There's many ways. We're looking for mentors to be able to come in. There's ways that people can come in and serve meals, which is great to see. Even though we're, as staff members, we're there to help just as much. It's always when somebody comes in to volunteer and serves a meal, is so much more impactful. Like, oh, why are they here? We actually have a young family. Mom reached out, and her 2 daughters, she wanted to do a quick project and to be able to help in the community. So they asked if they could serve dinner and actually make dinner and serve it. So they made dinner and served it. And the girls were so impacted that they actually come back every Tuesday, and it's either Rice Krispie treats, which are delicious, brownies, cookies, those types of pieces. These young little girls are spurring their mom on now. And not only are they coming back and giving those cookies, they've come back and have made more meals and have brought friends along with them. Hey, mom, can I bring a friend? Mom, can I bring a friend? Mom, can I bring a friend? Now the mom's asking, can I bring a friend? So that, so you can, there's volunteering, and then there's also the financial support, because we're not fully funded by, we're not funded by the state. We have many different means of support that come in. So we desperately and are gratefully in need of that always, especially as we move forward with the women's facility. So any other questions? Yes, Beck. So the Women's Center, the main project of the renovation is going to be funded by the state because they oversee us. That's one of the benefits, that even though we're a religious organization, we do qualify for state funding because we're existing shelter overseen by them, not controlled by them, but overseen by them. And so we're able to apply for funds that will cover most, if not all, that project, plus 3 months of operational expenses, plus 6 months of operational reserves. So, and the project is going to be about $4.5 to $5 million if the prices of stuff doesn't keep going up. That's part of our reality. Anybody else? Yes. No, the furnishings will be another piece that we'll reach out. We actually have a couple churches that want to actually provide most of the furnishings. So there's a lot of pieces coming in place already, so. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Hate to cut you off, but some people, I think, want to go back to their offices. Anyway, one of Rotary's major international programs is the eradication of polio in the world. We're down to just 2 countries in the world where polio exists. In honor and thanks to your presentation today, our club will make a donation in your name that will vaccinate 4 children who will never experience polio in their life. Remembering this year's Rotary International theme, serve to change lives. Caring for and serving others is the best way to live because it changes not only other people's lives, but also our own. Thank you, and we are adjourned.